Hey y'all, I'm actually getting warm in the sun here. It's chilly out. It is the first day of spring and it is a beautiful day, and it was colder, but now it's starting to warm up and I'm starting to get hot. So there we go. I just finished reseeding some of our pots because you have to watch that video, but we had the heater quit working one night or came unplugged, and so it was like 21 degrees in the greenhouse, and some of the seedlings didn't survive. We didn't have a huge loss, but we did lose some, so I went ahead and reseeded everything, but you'll have to watch that video. But anyway, I have been thinking about a video lately that I wanted to do, and ironically enough, it pops up in my news feed or my suggested videos on YouTube that Jess at Roots and Refuge did a video about what is your dream, and I was like, I was gonna do a video like that. That's funny. It's like one of those crazy things. So then when I watched her video, I saw she was actually tagged, and the videos, the tag collaboration started with, hey, it's a good life. So anyway, the tag is basically about like, what is your dream? And the girl from Hey, It's a Good Life wants to, wanted to know what your dream is, and so she can root for you. And it's important for us, not just the homesteading community, but a community as a whole, to uplift and support each other and be happy for each other. And when one of us succeeds, you know, being there and being excited and cheering you on, and if you're having a hard time, you know, of course, being there as well. So anyway, the whole thing was talking about dreams, and I've been thinking about that a lot lately and was planning on, like I said, planning on doing a video about it. And then I saw that, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in on the collaboration and talk about dreams. So I'm a dreamer by nature. I can't help it, always have been. And you know, we've had a lot of major changes in our life in the last few years. It's just, you know, you have a plan, you think things are gonna go one way, and then things change. You know, we ended up moving to Florida, and then my dad had a massive heart attack and bilateral stroke. And so we've walked through, you know, his recovery, which he's still walking through, and that's been a really hard for everybody, you know, to deal with. And living in Florida, our situation wasn't ideal. We walked through a lot of tough times there in the last couple of years, and then the last fall, you know, we had finally decided, you know, we're gonna move back home to Virginia. That's where we need to be. That's where our heart is. We're gonna do this. So we started making plans. We didn't have any solid plans, but we kind of had a tentative plan of what we wanted to happen, and we were moving in that direction, and things were looking like, you know, by the spring of this year, like this time, hopefully we would be in a position to be able to move. And then the hurricane came, which ended up moving us here earlier, and we're glad about that, but is not the way we would have chosen to do things. And it was this catastrophic sort of catalyst event in our lives. And of course, it's 5 months later, and everyone there is still living. I mean, it's still just a wreck there. People are still waiting on houses to be built and started, and just the place has been decimated, you know, and you don't see it on the news anymore, but it's really bad. You know, it's really bad. They're living in a state of catastrophe still and dealing with that. But anyway, all of that to say, so part of our dream was to get back home, and we're home. So that's, you know, we're excited and we're very blessed to have this place. You know, it's 37 acres and we're renting it for now. But I guess this all brings us to the dream, my dream particularly. And, you know, my family and Derek's on board with this dream. This is just like our vision and what we've seen. You know, it started out smaller in my head, but it's grown a lot over the years, and I've seen that I feel like it really can come to fruition. And I don't know when and how, and hopefully sooner rather than later. But, you know, we really obviously want our own homestead, our own place. And in that vision I see, my heart's desire, what makes my heart go pitter-patter, is big old farmhouses, a big white farmhouse with a big front porch. That's just like, and chimneys, and, you know, just the picturesque farmhouse. That's like the ideal house for me. And we have 8 kids, there's 10 of us, so a big house is kind of necessary. We're living in, you know, the single wide right now, and it's not very big, and it's working, but it's tough. It's tough to have 10 people in a small space. I mean, we're always like on top of each other anyways. We're a very close family, so when we're in the den sitting on the couch, everybody's on the couch, you know, we don't spread out very much. But just, you know, kitchen space and storage space, and for the kids to have their toys and play and things, it's just tight, you know, which is fine. It's working, but in the long term, we would love to have a big farmhouse. You know, I want to have a wood cook stove. I want to have, I'm just dreaming, you know, I want to have antiques, which I have some that I inherited. I was given from my grandmother, so I'm really excited about that. But anyway, and then it's just like the rolling pastures. I want rolling pastures and orchard and gardens and old barns and a creek that's nice and wide the kids can play in, and you know, maybe fishing, a little bit of fish. I don't want it big enough that people will be floating it though, because I don't want random people floating in the creek in my house. But you know, just like the picturesque farm setting. And then I want to have woods and maybe a ridge behind, you know, the back of the property there. The kids, we can, you know, hike and hunt on it, and all of these things. It's just like in my mind's eye, I can just see this so perfectly. And I'm like, that costs a lot of money, you know, that's way more than our budget would allow for. I really want enough land, you know, I'm talking like 50 or 100 acres. Realistically, I know that's a lot of land. Like I said, a lot of money. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I have all these kids, and they may want, like, I want to have enough land if they want to build a house and build their own small farm, they can do that, you know. And so, and my kids are getting older, you know, Jack will be 16 next month, or in May, we're in March, so in 2 months, he'll be 16. And I know he'll be home for at least a couple more years, but, you know, I'm ready for that now. I want my kids to have roots and have their home that is their haven, that no matter what they do in life, no matter where they go in the world, they know they have home to come home to, and that's their haven. I want to have where, as my kids grow up and get married and have kids, we have the gathering place where everybody can come. We have holidays and birthdays and all of that. You know, I just want, my heart's desire is just to make this haven and sanctuary for my family and others. I mean, and I'm talking about right now, these are my personal desires, but I want it to be a place where people can come, you know, I can serve them dinner and people can come and just feel completely 100% at peace, and just, I want it to be a joy-filled place that everybody can just enjoy, you know what I mean? And I want to have gardens full of, you know, vegetables and fruits and the orchards and berries and all the things where people can just enjoy coming out and having a nice treat outside, and just, I know, it's very, very romantic, dreamy dream, but that's what I do. That's the kind of dreamer I am. And then as we want to raise, you know, almost all of our food. We can raise most of our food, as far as we already raise most of our meat that we eat. When we run out of one particular meat, we might have to buy some in between butchering again, but you know, we want to do that in all of our vegetables and be preserving everything and all that. But on the large scale, our heart's desire is to have a pasture-based farm for market. You know, we want to do grass-fed, grass-finished beef and sell at the market, and pastured pork and pastured chickens and all of that. Like, we have this desire, very strong desire, and that's what Derek would love to do full-time. He loves farming. That's like his passion is farming. He enjoys landscaping. He's pretty passionate about that, cutting trees and landscaping and all that. So that's why he has chosen that as his career right now, to work towards the goal of full-time farming. And he has so many skills, he can always fall back on that, because, you know, everybody will tell you full-time farming is hard to make a real living out of, but, you know, I think it's doable. It's just building that and taking time. So my vision is for that, and be able to do farmers markets and things, and eventually really have a farm store that we have our own products in, and people can come, you know, shop there or come pick up, you know, their stuff. So that's kind of like our big long-term goal. And the provision will have to be there, and we have faith, we trust that there will be provision. You know, just like when the hurricane came, we had to put our animals at a friend's place, and we're living in the 20-foot camper, and we're going, what are we gonna do? Like, all right, God, you know, what doors are you gonna open now? And then this place just happened. You know, our friend said, hey, you know, I got my farm with 37 acres, would you be interested in renting until, you know, while you get back on your feet, until you can find your forever place? And so here we are. This is beyond what we ever thought would happen. You know, when the hurricane came, it's like, what are we gonna do? Because we didn't have any way to buy, you know, we couldn't qualify for a loan, because Derek's self-employed, and you have to have so much, it's a lot when you're self-employed in order to be able to actually get a loan. So we have to work towards that, being able to prove the income and all of that for a couple of years. And we knew that, and then we're like, we don't even have the money for first and last month's rent at this point because of, you know, the hurricane. We were planning to move and starting to save money and all that with our situation in Florida, but you know, it was just beyond us. There was nothing we could do to make this happen, and this happened, you know. So we know, we've seen God's hand move so many times in our life and provide for us so many times. We know that he will provide, and we really do feel like he's put this dream in our hearts and this desire in our hearts, and so we know he's going to do it at some point, you know. And for us, if we ideally we could find an owner finance situation, because Derek's still self-employed obviously, so the whole getting a loan situation is a little bit iffy. We don't, you know, we haven't tried yet because we're not at that point yet. But you know, if somebody had a farm they wanted to own or finance or something like that, that would be amazing. But you know, so the dream is there and it's alive, and no matter how long it takes, because this dream has been in my heart for the better part of, let's see, 7 or 8 years. I would say 8 years ago. This is really the dream that was born in me, and it's been a long time coming, and we've seen along the way, you know, the skills we've learned and the things we've done that have prepared us, so when we do finally get to that point, we're ready for it, you know. But it's a long time, and we've been patient, we've been waiting, we're still being patient and still waiting, but we're really looking forward to the day that the dream is fulfilled. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share my heart with y'all about the dream and what it means to me. And I really want to know, what is your dream? What do you have in you that is like, you just really want to see happen, you know, in your life? You know, even if it's just one day, you can't see when or where or whatever, just what is that dream? What do you have? Maybe you're living it. Maybe you've seen your dream fulfilled. And if you have, leave it in the comments. Tell me. And if not, if you have a channel, go ahead and do a video about your dreams and share that with us. It's really, it's kind of an exciting thing to share your dreams with people and say, hey, this is my dream. And you can call me crazy. You can think my dream is like way out there or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's my dream. So I can have that dream, right? Anyway, what is your dream? What are you desiring out of life? What is it for you?